Hey, what's going on guys? Cygnus here, and today we're going to be covering the basics of engineering for level 20 Twinks. We're going to be taking a look at how to upgrade your Garrison and get the ultimate Gnomish army knife, the Goblin glider cloak, the Frag Belt, the spinal injector, and the Ghost Iron Dragonling, and the Cogs to put in it. I'm not going to be covering the engineering goggles in this video because it requires profession juggling, and I personally think that there's more value in a regular 3-socket helm over the secondary stats that the engineering goggles give. Alright, if you guys are ready, let's get into it. So you're going to want to learn Cataclysm, Mining, and Engineering. You can find both of these trainers in your faction's main cities. Be sure to snag a pickaxe from the mining supplies vendor. Next is to get to your Garrison. If you haven't done that yet, you can pick up the quest Warlords of Draenor, the Dark Portal, either from Chromie through Chromie Time or from the Hero Call Board. Here's a quick tip too. After you get to the Dark Portal, go ahead and abandon that quest and just walk through the Dark Portal, and if you've done this already, you'll be able to walk through and just start building your Garrison right away. You're going to want to follow the line of quests until you get a nice level 1 Garrison all set up, although in order to set up the engineering works, you'll need to have a level 2 Garrison. Normally I would cover all the quests required to get to this point, but they are different for Horde and Alliance, and the best I can do is link you this Wowhead guide on how to level up your Garrison. You can stop following the guide once you reach level 2 because we've got all we need for the army knife. Head over to your architect table and find a small empty plot. You're going to create an engineering works here. Drag it over to the plot to start building. This is going to take an hour, so we're going to do some other stuff while we wait. While we're waiting, go out and find 2 Blackrock ore and 2 True Iron ore. Once you've got your ore, all you have to do is wait for your engineering works to finish building and complete the first work order quest, which should finish instantly. This will give you 5 gear parts, and you can then talk to the engineer, buy the Draenor mining guide for 125 gold, and you can make yourself a Gnomish army knife. Next up is the Frag Belt. This one is going to require you to go all the way back to Dalaran and Crystal Song to learn Northrend mining and engineering. After you learn those, you're going to head out and mine some cobalt ore in Howling Fjord. Here's a pretty useful route if you need one for Howling Fjord. You're going to need somewhere around 25 and 30 cobalt bars. Make handfuls of cobalt bolts until you reach level 5. Learn the recipe Frag Belt from your trainer and you're all set. Now it's time for the Goblin glider. So for this tinker, you're going to have to head to Pandaria and learn mining and engineering. For the Horde, the mining trainer is Stonebreaker Ruin in Honeydew Village. And for the Alliance, it's Rockseeker Guo in Pawdawn Village. You can either mine the Ghost Iron in the Jade Forest, or you can head over to Valley of the Four Winds on your way to learn engineering. Sally Fizzlefury is the engineering trainer, and they're all the way at the edge of Valley of the Four Winds. You need to be level 25 in engineering to learn the Goblin Glider Tinker from Sally. This is kind of a 2-for-1 part, so now we're going to talk about the Ghost Iron Dragonling. You're able to learn how to craft the Ghost Iron Dragonling at level 25. You don't have the ability to use the Relic of the Past until you hit level 40. It's kind of a disclaimer, you also have to have maxed out Cataclysm engineering in order to craft the cogs that go into this trinket. Pandaria cogs require item level 38, and since this is going to be a lot lower than that, we're not going to be able to use them. As I noted in the previous section, you can farm Ghost Iron in Valley of the Four Winds and Jade Forest here. You're also going to farm some Windwool Cloth. You can get this from like any humanoid in Pandaria. So from level 1 to 25 you can make Ghost Iron Bolts and High Explosive Gunpowder and Land Sharks. 25 to 40 you can make Tinker's Kits, which require 2 Gunpowder, 2 Bolts, and 2 Windwool Cloth. Once you get to 40 you can go ahead and craft the trinket, and don't forget to use your Relic of the Past 1. Alright, next up is the Spinal Healing Injector. This is usually really quick depending on your RNG. So for the healing injector, you're going to need a bit of obsidian ore, which you can mine in Hyjal. Recommend farming in Vashir if you've got a high level and if you're a vet, because you get the nifty seahorse. Pretty much just start making bolts and you'll learn different recipes randomly as you level up. You can see I got it by like level 6. I would also try to craft an electrostatic condenser if you're trying to level engineering all the way to 75. Makes getting volatile airs a lot easier, so you don't have to try and kill high level mobs in order to farm them. Now for the real fun part. Let's level Cataclysm Engineering all the way to 75. Note for this part you're going to want to pick up fishing as a profession as well. For the leveling 1 to 75, I'm pretty much just going to be following the guide over at WoW Professions, and so I'm not going to spell it out for you, but I will give you some nice tips for gathering stuff as a twink. Like I previously stated, you're going to want to craft that electrostatic condenser as soon as you can. The route you're going to want to use for all that elementium ore that you're going to need is going to be in Twilight Highlands, and this route was given to me by Chops, and if you don't know this man, go check out his channel, throw a sub his way. Thank you for that quick little route, Chops. You're going to need around 720 elementium ore in order to finish this, so get real comfortable with this path, and it's actually relatively safe. Remember how I told you to pick up fishing? I wasn't kidding, you're going to need it. So if you head up into here, and this is once again a very dangerous spot for level 20s, there's these pools of fire that spawn around this little lava pit. And you guessed it, those volatile fires that you're going to need are going to come from these pools. Now that you've gathered everything that you need, follow that guide and hit level 75. If you craft everything perfectly, you should hit 75 with no problem. And now that you're level 75, you're probably thinking, well, where are the cogs at? There's going to be an engineering vendor in your faction's main city that'll sell the cogs, and I'll explain how to get each of these things, and it will probably require some profession juggling. First up is the authentic junior engineering goggles. This requires 8 obsidian bars, 2 hessonite, which can come from jewel crafting or just some lucky mining, and 2 savage leather, which comes from skinning mobs in Twilight Highlands. The elementium toolbox, which is 15 elementium bars and 12 volatile earths. Both of these can be obtained from mining. A volatile Sephorium blast pack, which is 1 handful of obsidian bolts and 2 electrified ether. You should know how to get both of these if you followed that guide. A handful of obsidian bolts, which if you've made it fit this far and don't know how to get these, I'm not sure what to tell you. The same goes for the electrified ether, we've been over this. The Lure Master tackle box takes 20 elementium bars and 4 handful of obsidian bolts. And finally, the Goblin Barbecue. This one's kind of a bitch. It takes 2 elementium bars, 2 toughened flesh, which comes from animals throughout Twilight Highlands, and 2 lava scale fillets, which comes from cataclysm cooking. This recipe is going to require you to do a couple cooking dailies in order to get the Epicurean awards to buy the recipe from a sous chef. Then you have to go fish up lava scale catfish from Uldum. Another reminder that each cog is unique equipped, so you can only have 1 of each. But what's nice is the Dragonlings are BOE, so you can sell them or trade them after they've been socketed, but they can only be socketed by someone that has level 75 Cataclysm Engineering. This is good news for those vets out there that have higher level characters that can gather these materials way faster. And before we wrap things up, I just want to say thank you guys again for watching. It was a pain in the ass to make this video, but I know everybody's been asking for it, so you're welcome. Thank you guys for 1,000 subs. It means a hell of a lot, and we'll see you next time. Peace!